What if you were driving alone on a dark, icy road? Your car suddenly crashed, and within minutes, you vanished without a trace. That's exactly what happened to 21-year-old Maura Murray, a nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, whose disappearance on February 9th, 2004, has remained one of the most perplexing, unsolved cases in modern history. No signs of struggle, no footprints leading away from the scene, no logical explanation. Just an abandoned car, a missing girl, and 20 years of unanswered questions. Let's dive into one of the most chilling mysteries in recent history. What happened to Maura Murray? Maura Murray wasn't the type of person to just disappear. By all accounts, she was intelligent, disciplined, and determined. A gifted student and a skilled athlete, Maura had been part of the West Point Military Academy before transferring to UMass Amherst to study nursing. But in the days leading up to her disappearance, something changed. On February 5th, 2004, Maura was working her campus security job when she suddenly broke down in tears. A supervisor later described her as being in a trance-like state. When asked what was wrong, all she could say was, "My sister." That same night, her supervisor walked her back to her dorm, worried about her well-being. Whatever had upset her remained a mystery. And then, Maura started making plans. On February 9th, 2004, Maura emailed her professors, claiming she had a death in the family and needed to leave campus for a few days. But there was no death, no family emergency. Instead, Maura packed up her belongings, withdrew $280 from an ATM, and set off on what appeared to be an unplanned trip. At 3:40 p.m., she called a rental condo in Bartlett, New Hampshire, a place she and her family had visited before. It's unclear if she intended to stay there, but no reservation was made. At 4:37 p.m., she checked her voicemail. That was the last recorded activity on her phone. What happened next remains the biggest mystery of all. At around 7:25 p.m., Maura crashed her 1996 Saturn sedan on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, a remote, winding road surrounded by thick forest and mountains. The crash wasn't severe. There was some damage to the car, but it was still drivable. A local resident, Butch Atwood, a school bus driver, stopped to check on her. He later told police that Maura seemed shaken but uninjured. When he asked if she needed help, she refused, saying she had already called AAA. But there was a problem. There was no cell service in that area. Maura couldn't have called AAA. Still, Butch didn't push. He drove home just 100 yards away and called 911 at 7:27 p.m.
911, what's the emergency, please?
By the time police arrived at 7:46 p.m., just 19 minutes later, Maura was gone. There were no footprints in the snow, no sign of a struggle. The only clues left behind? A bottle of wine spilled in the car, a box of Franzia wine in the back seat, a rag stuffed into the tailpipe of her Saturn. Investigators searched the area, but Maura was never found. So what really happened? There are three major theories, each one raising more questions than answers. Theory number 1, Maura ran away. Some believe Maura staged her disappearance and started a new life. Supporters of this theory point to her strange behavior before vanishing, the breakdown at work, the sudden trip, the email to professors about a fake family death. They argue that Maura, feeling overwhelmed by personal struggles, might have left voluntarily. But if she was planning to disappear, why leave money in her bank account? Why take no extra clothing or belongings? And where could she have gone? on foot, in freezing temperatures, with no reported sightings. Theory number 2. Maura met with foul play. This is the most chilling theory. Some believe that Maura, stranded and alone on a dark road, may have accepted a ride from the wrong person. Butch Atwood, the last known person to see her, was cleared of any suspicion. However, there were multiple sex offenders living in the area at the time. Could one of them have picked her up? Then, there's the disturbing statement from a local resident who claimed that her brother may have been involved in Maura's disappearance. But despite multiple police searches, no physical evidence has ever been found to support this theory. Theory number 3. An accidental death in the woods. Some investigators believe Maura may have wandered into the forest and succumbed to the elements. Temperatures that night dropped to below 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Without proper gear, hypothermia would have set in quickly. If she had wandered deep enough into the woods, her remains could still be out there, hidden beneath thick brush or buried under snowfall. But this theory has one major flaw. Extensive searches with dogs and helicopters found nothing. So where is Maura Murray? Over the years, there have been dozens of supposed sightings, but none confirmed. A bone fragment was found in 2021 near Loon Mountain, just miles from the crash site, but DNA testing ruled out any connection to Maura. Even after 2 decades, the FBI, local authorities, and Maura's family are still searching for answers. And that brings us to you. What do you think happened to Maura Murray? Was she running from something? Did she meet with foul play? Or is her body still somewhere out in the wilderness, waiting to be discovered? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. And if you want to stay up to date on more unsolved disappearances, wilderness mysteries, and the dark side of the great outdoors, hit that subscribe button. Because sometimes the most beautiful places hold the darkest secrets.